Wait, hold on. Did I say that or did somebody in the comments say that? Hold on.
You said that.
Oh, God. Man, that was just probably one of those moments where I just felt like, okay, hold on. Let me, just meaning of the, in the sense of just when people hear it, it's contagious. It's absolutely incredible. Like,
Jam.
Yo, what's going on, world? It's your boy Vic Smith, and I'm here interviewing with the Jam Company. You in for a good one.
Jam.
All right, so what's your story?
My story. Well, my name is Vic Smith. I am from Saginaw, Michigan, by way of Las Vegas. I moved to Vegas when I was around 7 years old, but I always came back to Michigan for the summers. And during the summer is when I got into being an MC, because I saw, my cousins and a couple of my older peers writing on notepads, and I was thinking to myself, like, yo, you can do this. So I grabbed a piece of paper and I grabbed a pen, and from that point on, I haven't stopped writing. It's just been in me ever since then. But just speaking to my mom recently, and even my grandmother, music apparently has always been a part of like my history, because when I was 3, my grandmother bought me a boombox, and I was always walking around the house listening to it, jamming to whatever song came on. And my mother just recently informed me that one of my first CDs that I bought was Sam Cooke's "The Change Is Gonna Come," and I played that joint out. And then at a garage sale, I bought the movie Purple Rain by Prince. And she told me that I would watch that movie like 3 times a day, drag in my little toy table, and I would play on that toy table as if it were the keys. So music has always been a part of me longer than I can remember. And like I said, ever since I picked up that pen and that pad, man, it's been tunnel vision ever since then. I've just always wanted to say something with my music, or make people move, or create a message, just anything in general to make people feel good, or to help people progress. And I'm totally in love with music. There's just no other way to explain it.
Well, that's a very early start for you.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So when did you start professionally?
You said what?
So when did you start professionally?
Technically, it would be maybe, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years ago, when I dropped my first EP, Brennan, on Apple Music through Full Circle Core Music Group. That was the first, I'll say, legal group that I was with. And let me think, that was 2017 when I dropped that album. And ever since then, I can honestly say it's been nothing but forward progression, because I just recently moved back to Michigan. But while I was out there in Vegas, we ended up getting a band together. I ended up rocking, House of Blues a couple of times. Bunkhouse, Hard Rock Vinyl, just so many different places on the Strip. And I think 2-3 years ago, I actually opened up for Big Boy and Sleepy Brown in California at, I believe, the Observatory. That's what it was called. So technically, you could say that I've been in the game professionally for about 4 or 5 years now.
Okay. And I see a keyboard in the back right there. Do you play any other instruments?
No, I don't. My keyboard is just because it just makes it that much easier to, make beats. I know a little bit. I can play a few chords here and there. I've been teaching myself, but I'm no pro or anything. I don't get down like the church boys or anything like that. I wish so. Maybe one day.
All right. So how do you shift your mindset when you feel like you're being put in a box?
Honestly, man, I either pray or I meditate, or just try to find some type of inspiration to get me out of that slump. It's self-care and mental health is so imperative, obviously, in anything that you do, but especially music, because if you're in that slump, it makes it very difficult to create. And having the experiences that I've had in my life, I've realized that praying and especially meditating, just getting yourself in a space of mindfulness and not letting like your prefrontal cortex or just your consciousness mess up any of that, because that's normally the reason why we get out of our creative spaces. We'll let all of these outside thoughts, enter our consciousness or our brains, and we won't fight it off or we won't ignore it, and it puts us in a slump. So meditating, praying, or probably going to listen to like Love Below by Outkast or The Speaker Box. That's one of my favorite just albums ever, especially the Love Below, because the spectrum and the diversity and the versatility in the music is absolutely insane. And every time I listen to that album, I draw something new from it, and it sparks so many different ideas in my brain. So after that, I go downstairs or I go into my studio and I just experiment as much as possible until something clicks and I'm back in that zone.
That's good, man. I hear a lot of artists that have that same using, music as their therapy.
Most definitely.
Yeah, and then, creativity just happens to come out of it, since it's their profession.
That's before I started really professionally, I guess you could say. Music was definitely my therapy, man. It was just journaling and then doing poetry that turned into songs. And I never thought that it was that big of a deal because, again, it was just something that I love to do. But once I saw how people started responding, to that, that's when I was like, yo, I really have something here. And ever since then, again, it's just been nothing but forward progression, a great trajectory, in my opinion.
So what are some valuable lessons that you carry with you that you learned from your grandmother?
Live life with a passion. Don't worry about others, and don't stress yourself over things that you can't control. Because again, you start to stress and it just messes up your creative slump, your whole positive mind state, and you just become unproductive. And no one wants to be that way. And don't get me wrong, like life isn't going to be 100% positive all the time or always, but you can control a lot of how you feel and what you're feeling. So it's imperative to really get down to that. And she's done a really great job of keeping me focused and letting me know what's important and what's not.
Now your last project, you had dedicated that to your grandmother, right?
Yes, Mamie Lewis. Well, my great grandmother. Excuse me.
Oh, great grandmother.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure you've instilled a lot of messaging throughout that project. I'm sure.
That particular project was about just, well, one, it was musical therapy, and then two, most definitely just the message, because I felt, me personally, I can write bars all day long. I can write punchlines and things all day long. Like, it's not an issue for me. Like, I'm very creative. That's just naturally who I am. But I felt like I could do something with that creativity instead of doing a million punchlines. It's like, yo, say something that sticks to the ribs. Say something that like 10 years from now, people are going to be like, dang, like I still feel that. Or, yo, I just got that. Because again, going back to The Love Below by Andre 3000, I've been listening to that album since it came out. I was like 11, 12 when it came out. And every time I listen to that album, I get something different out of it. And that's the concept or the aspect that I want to take from that album and have with my music, and for it to carry on through all of my music. I want people to be able to go back to it and be like, yo, like there's still gems in this music. Like I can still listen to it like I heard it for the first time. So that's very important to me. So yeah, that's what I did. Yeah.
No, I was about to say, I mean, I, as a listener, look for that. I mean, hearing bars and all is cool and that, but I like to hear growth, or like artist growth, or like artists' life stories within their music, because, I think that just makes for a more engaging piece of art. And then also it captures that moment in time of what an artist is going through.
Yes, I agree tenfold.
All right. So you say that in the next 20 years, it'll be wild because the next generation of artists are major computer nerds. Can you further elaborate on that thought?
How did you find that? I just meant like in the sense of, honestly, just like YouTube University. Not necessarily YouTube University, but like we're getting into an age where everybody's starting to learn everything on their own, where everybody has to build, or for example, like me, I'm a producer and I'm an MC, but also because of that, I need to learn how to be an engineer. But also because of my music and just in general, me want to take it to the next level, I have to learn how to promote in a certain way. And then I have to learn how to, you know, be a cinematographer in some sense. Not saying that it needs to be my passion, but you need to have an understanding of what's going on so that when you get a cinematographer on your team or someone or a promoter or an advertised person, you can work with them and tell them, okay, this is what I want. This is how I want it. How can we make that vision come into fruition? So what I mean by computer nerds, that we're always looking for more information. We're always learning something. And with YouTube being there, it's just like, you can't not learn anything today. Anything that you think about, you can literally go online or go on YouTube and there's something there that you can learn from it. Not necessarily saying that it'll be easy to become a master or an expert in that field, but there's so much valuable information out there that like we're getting deeper into computers and just technology. And I think that in the next 20 years, we're going to see so many different multifaceted just artists in general who just know how to shoot videos, make music, promote, just draw, just it all. And I think we're going to be mind blown by how talented and what they're capable of.
Yeah, we're already, you know, seeing that happen now. I mean, I'm a testament to that. And yeah, seeing that in the next 20 years is probably going to be it's going to be taken to a much higher level, like, for sure.
Super insane. It's going to be absolutely insane, like times 10. It's personally, I can't wait to see. I mean, I can't wait because I'm not trying to fast forward 20 years in the life like that, but I'm excited to see what the future looks like. I think it's very bright.
Definitely. Yeah, I think people have like this darkened, gloomy perspective of what the future is going to look like, but I think it's going to be positive for the most part.
Oh, sorry about that. But no, I agree. I agree 100%. A lot of people, you're right, they do have a negative outlook on the future because of the history of what's been going on in the past. But me personally, I see so much good in the future, especially through art, just because I feel like art will always and has always pushed culture in general forward. And that's been so important just throughout history in general. Like even Nikola Tesla, though he was a scientist, there was an art to that science. And it just pushes everything forward, consciousness, the culture, just the way that we think. So I agree with that.
Yeah, and that's an interesting point because art and design, art, and like engineering, like the technical aspect, when those two things collide together, that's where ingenuity, innovation happens.
I 100% agree with you. 100%.
What do you mean when you say you make Pootie-Tang music?
Wait, hold on. Did I say that or did somebody in the comments say that? Hold on.
You said that.
Oh, God. Man, that was just probably one of those moments where I just felt like, okay, hold on. Let me, just meaning of in the sense of just when people hear it, it's contagious. It's absolutely incredible. Like, for me, it doesn't hit people right away, but as time goes on, I feel like my music just gets better with time. So like in that sense, it's just, I guess I wouldn't say I want to make Pootie-Tang music rather than it is, because of course you need that progression, but I just want to get to the point where it's like when I drop, people are like, yo, man, like Vic sneezed on the track. Did you hear that? And it's like, yo, that was the hardest bar ever. So it was just me being funny, man, just because, like, realistically, I mean, Pootie-Tang's a freaking legend, man. So it's like, if you can affect the world and have a message just like he did, I think that would be dope. It's like his superpower was his music, but also his message. So I would love to have that type of impact. My man's really did his research.
Tippy tie.
Man, oh, Sam, now I'm gonna go watch the movie after this. Now I'm gonna go watch the movie. I gotta go get. Ooh, I'm gonna Pootie-Tang for Halloween. Thank you, good sir. Thank you. Good sir.
You're welcome. All right, so you should definitely go ahead and just trademark Slappetizers.
Slappetizers. All right. I'll take that. Slappetizers. That's great. How did? Man, now I gotta watch what I say on Facebook. Oh man,
you should make a T-shirt that says Slappetizers on it, and have a full 4-course meal on the shirt. You know.
You're a genius, good sir. You know, we gonna talk after this. We gonna talk after this. I was like, I got a list of T-shirts too. So you're right about that. Thank you for bringing me back to that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Tenfold.
Or actually put like appetizers on there, like, like buffalo wings or like onion rings or, cheese curds.
For real. I like that. Yeah. That's probably one of the dope interviews I've been a part of, man. Thank you. This is dope.
Thank you. But yeah, those are all the questions I had for you. Go ahead and plug your music and what you have coming up.
So I just recently dropped my my project, Mamie Lewis. It's everywhere: Spotify, Apple Music, all major streaming platforms. As far as my handles, you can find me anywhere at Vic Smith Music, even VicSmithMusic.com. It's all the same anywhere you go. If you want to get some ridiculous posts and laugh sometimes, just add me on Facebook, Facebook.com/Vic Smith Music. I'm always talking a bunch of ridiculous crap, being controversial. That's just me. And as far as what I have coming up next, I'll just say that I have been in my cocoon, and my cocoon has been in the hyperbolic time chamber. And I'm working very diligently on what's next, because I not only want to shock the world, but I want to shock myself and make some of the dopest music I've ever heard. So I'm currently working very diligently on that.
Awesome. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. This has been incredible, and I would love to do this again sometime.
Jam. Yo, y'all. Thank you for watching. Keep jamming. Y'all know the deal.